Hello and welcome to the latest Epic Universe construction update. There's been a lot of news coming out from Universal about details about various aspects of the Ministry of Magic, including the battle at the Ministry ride. Universal Studios Japan has given us a sneak peek at their Donkey Kong Country, which will be very similar to the one coming to Epic Universe. And also, Universal has started running Epic Universe ads on television, so it seems like the marketing for this park is starting to ramp up as it is opening May 22nd, 2025. But today we have a lot of progress to check out around the Epic Universe construction site. But before we jump into the update, for those that are somehow unaware, Epic Universe is a brand new theme park coming to Universal Studios Florida. Epic Universe is located just 2 miles south of Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. And this new park will include brand new lands themed to How to Train Your Dragon, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Universal Monsters, and my personal favorite, Super Nintendo World. So today we'll kick off our construction tour as usual by heading over into the Dark Universe. Looking at the Dark Universe entrance portal, it looks like it might be completed as there is no longer scaffolding here and the gold accents on the portal have been installed. It also looks like the colorful concrete pattern is complete as well. And here we have a great view of the Darkmoor Village, and it's possible the village is finished with its exterior theming also. And looking again at Darkmoor Village, the well in the village center now has fog coming out of it. And I'm not gonna lie, this whole land has become something I'm really excited to experience with so many of the aesthetic elements of fog, lighting, and more that are going to be a part of this land. And looking a little closer, we can see the entrance of Das Steakhouse, and the sign for the restaurant looks like it's installed but is currently covered in protective plastic. And also part of Das Steakhouse, there is an iron gate that will likely open to a seating area, and the gate here definitely gives this area more of an ominous feeling. And moving over to the Dark Manor where Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment ride will be, we can see that it looks complete and it's a really amazing sight to see. And again, like other aspects of this land, all the trees and the theming in this area are definitely going to give it an ominous and spooky feel. And speaking of trees, we can just see how many trees are out here for the outdoor queue of Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment, which will be nice during the hot Florida summers. And keeping with the theme of trees, which is something that is a major element of Epic Universe, as they have said they want to bring the park back into theme parks, we can see all the trees and landscaping in the queue for the Curse of the Werewolf roller coaster. And here we can also see the current status of a canopy cover at the return station of the Curse of the Werewolf again. Now, most, if not all, of the rides in Epic Universe have been undergoing ride testing for months now, and this is a fantastic shot of the Curse of the Werewolf roller coaster, which is a spinning roller coaster during a ride test, and also is a great view of the ride cars, as it seems like each car will hold 2 riders each. All right, that's going to do it over here for the Dark Universe. Let's head over into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic to see the progress in this land. Over at the entrance portal to the Ministry of Magic, the colorful concrete pattern has made some good progress, and the portal itself looks like some more work is still to be done before it's completed. And backing up a bit, we can yet again see how many trees have sprouted up here, and even in the short amount of time they've been moved in this area, how much larger they have gotten. Now, the trees here will provide both a nice shade and also hide sight lines for guests as they're walking into and out of the land. And at the Golden Phoenix in the archway, the scaffolding here has been removed, but if we look at this, we can see the difference in the theming work, which means it is likely to be under more scaffolding soon to complete the theming on this area. And here at the Arrow is the entrance to the Battle at the Ministry ride, where guests will enter a Metroflux entryway as they are transported from 1920s Paris to the 1990s Ministry of Magic. And to finish up the views in the land here, we can get some great views of some various facades in the land as they finish up progress here in the Ministry of Magic land. And that'll really about do it over here in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. But let's head over to Super Nintendo World to see what progress we can see in this highly anticipated land. At the entrance portal of the Super Nintendo World, the colorful pipes are still missing, and it seems the concrete design in front of the portal has made some good progress. Now, in the previous update, we saw an outline of a star in the pavement, but it seems it has now changed to something different here.
Why What? Why?
And further into the land, we can see Peach's castle has lots of its scaffolding down, and we can see the brick theming on the castle is coming along. On the staircase in front of Peach's castle, the stairs look like they may be done, and I'm curious what this underneath area below the stairs is going to be used for. I've often guessed it could be used for meet and greets, but if you have any idea or guesses, please let me know in the comments. We can see where some augmented reality binoculars have been installed around the land. Now guests will be able to view various aspects of the land with these binoculars and see video game elements overlaid on top of various parts of the land. And over at Bowser's Fortress, the theming is making some great progress as part of it is likely complete, with some more work still ongoing at the top. And next to Bowser's Fortress, the Mario Motors sign has been installed, and this is the exit and gift shop for the Mario Kart attraction. We can also see some power-up blocks, likely having some testing elements done with them, which is very exciting to see. And speaking of signs now visible, the Yoshi's Adventure Ride sign has finally had its plastic covering removed and is clearly visible. And the main quick service restaurant in the land, Toadstool Cafe, is making some progress here as they continue to work on this building. And looking at Yoshi's Adventure itself, we can see that ride testing is still ongoing and the green warp pipes are now possibly completed. And more theming and scene elements have been installed along Yoshi's Adventure ride track also. Now, I'm not sure if this was completed in a previous update, but this archway has its brick-looking theming completed. And we saw in the last update as well that the green barrier between the Mushroom Kingdom and Donkey Kong Country had started getting painted, and now we can see some of the result of that work. And as always, we have to get a shot of what is going on at Mount Beanpole, and speaking from my childhood nostalgia, I think it looks amazing.
It's beautiful.
And jumping over to Donkey Kong Country, we can see the waterfall face is now visible with bananas coming out of the head here. Now this is going to be a waterfall near the entrance of Minecart Madness. Now here is a shot of Japan's version of this, but theirs has steam coming out of the mouth instead of a waterfall like the one at Epic Universe will have. And zooming out a bit, we can also see the Minecart Madness sign has now been installed and clearly visible. And near Minecart Madness, we can check in on the Donkey Kong Treehouse area, and we can see some more progress has been made here, and the hut next to it is going to be a counter service food/beverage location. And Donkey Kong's Treehouse is going to be a meet and greet location for Donkey Kong characters. Now, I did a video on the Japan walkthrough of their Donkey Kong countries, so if you want to see that walkthrough, please check it out after this video, and I'm going to link it above here in the video also. But if you're curious about what Donkey Kong will look like for this meet and greet, well, he's huge and he looks awesome. And here we see some Kong letters that will be sprinkled all throughout the land for guests to find, just like you would in the Donkey Kong video games. And we also saw in the Donkey Kong Country Japan walkthrough video the interactive barrel game that you can play, and this is the location of that same game in Epic Universe's version. And there are some palm trees that have popped up in the Donkey Kong Country area as well, we can see here. And looking overhead at this area of Donkey Kong Country, there are a lot more barrels that have been added for theming elements throughout the land. All right, that will do it for Super Nintendo World. Let's head over into the How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk to check out the progress in this land. At the entrance portal to the land, we can see scrims have been added around some theming elements, and scaffolding is still visible as work continues here. And the bay that will greet guests as they enter the land has the water drained out of it yet again, but the theming elements around this area do look to be completed. And in various parts of the Isle of Berk, we can see various fog elements that will be visible throughout the land, and they are currently undergoing testing right now. And again, shout out to BioReconstruct not only for these construction photos, but also was able to get a clip of some ride testing of Hiccups wing gliders that we can see right here. Now, looking at the ride test footage, it does look like the coaster may stop here in this second launch area before being launched yet again to continue the ride. Now, this would be like Slinky Dog Dash over at Hollywood Studios, where that ride has a very similar effect if that ends up being the case with this ride. Now, over at the second launch of Hiccups wing gliders, we can also see the Viking Training Camp Kids Play area, and we can see that it looks like the theming in this entire area is complete. Speaking of the Viking Training Camp area, here we can see the entrance for it, and the archway here looks completed. And here's an overview of the Viking training camp area as a whole. And as someone with younger kids, I think they are going to absolutely love this place. We can also see a slide in the Viking training camp area has been installed also. And here's the current status of the village square near the entrance to Hiccups wing gliders. And at the untrainable show building, which is where the sit-down show for the land will be, it is making some progress on its exterior theming since our last update. And this pad next to the building here, which we've talked about in previous updates, as this is likely to be the launching point and landing point for some of the dragon drones that have been seen testing above the Isle of Berk. And courtesy of Adventuring with Annie, we have another shot of some of these dragon drones testing above Epic Universe that she was able to capture. And over at Fire Drill, which is the boat ride in the land, there is still work happening on the roof, and the water has been drained from the ride as of now. And at the left of this picture, we can also see the beginning stages of a covered outdoor seating area for the nearby Spitfire Grill. And here is a better look at that seating area currently under construction. And looking over at Mead Hall, we can see the current status of the theming and landscaping here at the entrance walkway. All right, that'll do it over here in the Isle of Berk. Let's head over into Celestial Park to see the progress in the center hub land of Epic Universe. Now, I will say there are some interesting things here to report, as some things have gone away since our last update. Now, near Constellation Carousel, there was a berm that was being constructed, and in the previous update, we saw that it was coming along nicely, which now has seemingly been demolished and cleared. Now, the berm did have lights and other theming elements, so perhaps there was an issue with that, or they decided to go in a different direction for this, but either way, we'll have to check in on this on future updates to see what they end up doing with this area now. Also, on top of Constellation Carousel, the Pegasus that is at the top of it has also been removed. Seemingly is something temporary, but as of now, a couple of elements in this area are now gone since our last update. But something that has been added to the area is some theming and detail lights on the dome and sides of the carousel, and we can see that this thing is really looking just like the concept art, and I'm really excited to see what this entire area and land will look like at night especially. And over at Stardust Racers, there are some umbrella-looking shade elements that have been installed in the extended queue area here. And at the large fountain in the center of Celestial Park, there is progress on the landscaping in this area and in front of the Helios Grand Hotel. There are also streetlights that have started popping up in Celestial Park, as work here seems to be picking up pace since our last few updates. And more landscaping progress can be seen in what looks almost like a forest near the Oak and Star Tavern. And in the entrance area of Epic Universe, there is more landscaping in progress here as well around the entrance Kronos. And here we have a great look at the current progress on the admission sales kiosk in the entrance courtyard for Epic Universe. Well, when it comes to the hotels at Epic Universe, there really isn't much to note in terms of progress, but one area we can point to is the pool and recreation area at Helios Grand Hotel, as this area now is full of palm trees and there is water in the pool, and I will say it looks almost identical to the concept art that they showed for this resort. Now, to wrap up, we can take a quick look at the Epic Universe parking lot progress. Now, part of the dirt area here was being used for construction staging, as they are now wrapping up the staging elements being stored here and finishing off this parking lot. And also, thanks to Scott Walker 88 on Twitter, we can get an overview of what the parking area at Epic Universe will look like. And before we wrap up, here is the latest look at the construction of the raised traffic circle that is being built to help handle the Epic Universe traffic in this area. Well, that's going to do it for this Epic Universe construction update. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel before you go. And as always, we will be doing more Epic Universe news update, land previews, and construction updates as work on this new park continues. Also, here at Capture the Magic, we have daily videos covering Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And if you want even more Universal Studios and Disney World information, you can check out the Capture the Magic podcast, where we share tips, reviews, money-saving strategies, and more. You can find the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and also here on YouTube over at CTM Podcast. Be sure to let us know in the comments what you think about the current status of the Epic Universe construction. And until next time, we will see you in the parks.